What separates this scene from this scene? The answer is visible change. Change is what makes a story interesting, and in Season 1 of Fargo, we watch the story of Lester and his change. He begins the series as a timid insurance salesman, unsatisfied with his own life. In a hospital, he crosses paths with sociopath and ruthless hitman Lorne Malvo, who manipulates Lester into taking control of his own life by acting on his deep animalistic impulses and allowing himself to become an apex predator. Lester follows this advice and murders his own nagging wife, leading him down a path of crime and cover-up. Lester begs Malvo for help, and he shows up to Lester's home while police are investigating the disappearance of Lester's high school bully, whom Malvo had killed earlier. 1 year later, after crafting several lies to clear his name, Lester is a new man. He has a new wife, becomes an excellent salesman, and wears expensive suits. He runs into Malvo once again, who has moved on and is actively working a new bounty. This leads us to a defining character moment for Lester. Let's explore this scene from Season 1 of Fargo and discover how writer Noah Hawley masters character development. In order to solidify Lester's character development, this scene employs 3 elements: desire, contrast, and theme. Let's take a look at desire. Desire is what drives character. In a given scene, a character's goals should be clear. A character's goals can give a lot of insight into who they are. Furthermore, the actions a character takes towards achieving their goals also communicate a lot about who they are as well. As Lester encounters Malvo once again, he has achieved all metrics of success, as far as we can tell. So what's driving Lester in this scene? Let's find out.
It's me, Lester.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You must have me confused with someone.
No. Minnesota last year? The emergency room?
We can see Lester's motivation is validation from Malvo, the man who saw him at his lowest point. In their earlier conversation, Malvo tells Lester that he needs to act on his primal impulses or risk losing out in life.
It's a red tide, Lester, this life of ours. If you don't stand up to it, let them know you're still an ape, deep down where it counts. You're just gonna get washed away.
In the present moment, Lester wants to prove Malvo wrong. He hasn't been washed away, but instead has become an apex predator in his own right. Malvo ignores him, seeking to preserve his cover, and Lester feels slighted, which only fuels his desire for validation. Malvo tells Lester to walk away. This is the one thing that Lester cannot do. After experiencing a taste of the pleasure of self-agency, being given a direct command greatly irritates Lester. By the way, Martin Freeman's performance here is amazing. It's almost like I can hear Lester's inner monologue. Anyway, getting back to the main point, Lester's desire has been clearly established, which tells us a lot about him. Despite his external change, he is still not self-confident enough to ignore Malvo. Noah Hawley doesn't just use desire to establish Lester's character in this scene. He also uses contrast. The most obvious contrast is between Lester's current persona and his past. During their first conversation in the hospital, Lester constantly deflects Malvo's statements. In the present, Lester won't leave Malvo alone. He follows Malvo into an elevator, forcing his way back into conversation. By creating contrast with Lester's past behavior around Malvo, we are easily tuned into the way that he has changed. He's become someone more assertive and has lost any sort of sense of caution, especially regarding someone he knows to be a dangerous murderer. Callbacks to earlier scenes are a great way to illustrate change. In the hospital, Malvo asks Lester if he wants him to kill his high school bully for him.
You're asking me to kill this man.
No, that was... I was...
Lester can't give Malvo a straight answer. In the elevator, Malvo asks Lester,
Is this what you want? Yes or no?
Lester brazenly responds,
Yes.
and Malvo, finally forced to fully acknowledge Lester, executes his target and the rest of those in the elevator. The change in Lester is demonstrated in contrast to a prior scene. Another form of contrast is through character foils. A foil character is someone who contrasts the main character in order to better define the main character's traits. Malvo is Lester's foil throughout the series. Lester begins the series as a pushover and unsure of himself. Malvo is confident and even charismatic at times. Lester's behavior is contextualized against someone else, and the audience can see the direction in which his character will progress. As we reach the present scene, it appears that Lester matches Malvo in his confidence and assertiveness, finally reaching status as an apex predator. Malvo asks Lester if the life of a predator, a savage beast, is something he truly wants. Lester fools himself into thinking he knows the answer, but is quickly proven wrong. He is horrified at the murders he witnesses, and we're shown just how out of depth he truly is. Malvo is the true threat all along, and we learn that Lester has been simply fooling himself for the past year. Lester's cowardice never left, it was only masked by the impulses which Malvo enabled. In the opposite way, Malvo wears a mask too. He's portrayed as a wolf in sheep's clothes, harmless and innocent on the outside. But when Malvo's true self is unmasked, the danger is real. By contrasting Lester against Malvo, we understand the reality of Lester's development. He's only become ignorant about his own flaws instead of actually addressing them. It's important to have the trajectory of each character communicate a larger message in line with the themes of the story. I've already touched upon this, but a major theme in Fargo's first season draws upon the animalistic core nature of humans and further explores this concept by classifying people in groups of predator and prey. We've already established that Lester believes himself to be a predator after following his animal instincts for the past year. He is sorely mistaken, however, and will soon become Malvo's next prey. This is solidified by the setting of the elevator. Lester rushes in to catch Malvo, viewing the sliding door as his closing window of opportunity. In reality, he's sealed himself in a steel trap, a cage fit for a rat. Lester comes face to face with Malvo's true nature, and we're shown this top-down shot. Lester and Malvo stand opposed, and Lester is trapped in a cage with a wild animal. It's clear to see that he's Malvo's next victim. Lester believes he has no choice but to run, signifying he is now the one being hunted. Malvo stands in silhouette, gun in hand, flanked by wing-like bloodstains. He's not only an apex predator, but something even worse. An angel of death. The animal analogy is carried on throughout this episode and the finale as Lester weasels his way out of further encounters with Malvo, even catching Malvo in a bear trap. Noah Hawley uses Lester's character arc to communicate a greater theme within the story. Superficial measures of success don't define character. Facing death strips everything away, revealing the animal underneath. What matters about a man is what kind of animal he will become. Will he act with fear and cowardice, or with bravery and honor, as former police officer Gus Grimley does as he reaches his own final confrontation with Malvo? Lester's character moment is great because it's not an isolated gimmick. It's cemented within the greater scope of the series and speaks to greater themes. In just one scene, Noah Hawley manages to layer complex details about his characters and in doing so has mastered character development. Fargo shows us that character development is another powerful tool writers can use to increase coherence in a story and write interesting scripts. It can be tempting for beginning writers to have their character begin and remain perfect without changing them. Fargo provides a great framework for escaping static thinking. Explore your character's desires and the actions they take to achieve their goals. And don't just stop there, think about the effects of these actions, how they will develop and change your character, and what these actions mean in the greater context of your story. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked it and want to see more film breakdowns and writing tips, please consider subscribing to my channel and take a look at my other videos. It would really mean a lot to me. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of this scene? What was your favorite character moment in Fargo, and what are some of your favorite characters of all time? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.